Former President Donald Trump has officially been indicted. This, of course, is monumental in the political system of today. We have never seen a president charged with a crime. This is completely unprecedented and it's completely wild. This is both surprising and unsurprising to me at the same time. Obviously, we've had news about this for a couple weeks now, or it might be about a week at this point. But we already had some information that there was a potential indictment coming up. But after the news was released, it completely boosted Trump in every poll, and Trump really showed that he was going to use this to win the election. It looks like a really bad political move to indict him right now. It is something that's only going to energize voters and prove to people what they already thought. A lot of people already have this belief that Donald Trump is against the system and they're out to get him. And this really only backs that up. This is only going to energize the MAGA population more. It's really only going to convince them of what they already believed. It's just compounding that effect, that anti system effect that Trump has always had. It's what or a big part of what won him the election in 2016 and what gave him even a shot in 2020. It's this anti system mentality that more and more Americans are starting to grip onto. And Trump's really been able to capitalize off of this. And I fully believe he will capitalize off of this arrest. It seemed like a really bad political move. So, personally, I didn't think it would get carried through with. I thought it was just empty threats, and they just kind of wanted to see what the public's reaction was before they did anything. And when the public was very pro Trump on this, I thought they would drop it. That would be the end of the case. But no, they have carried on. He, out of nowhere, seemingly was indicted. There, the news, of course, as I said before, this was from 1, 2-ish weeks ago that we thought this may have happened, and now it's going on now, out of the blue, seemingly. And I do not think the news coming out at this time is completely random by any means. Look at what has happened over this last week. Two school shootings. One of them, giant news story, transgender goes and does a hate crime on a bunch of Christian kids, right? So the news is very focused on that right now. It's a big story. Both sides are going back and forth on it, and it's created a lot of heat in the political discourse. And now what we see is they go after Trump right after that news breaks. Why would they do this? Because they never wanted this to be a giant story. This was always supposed to be like kept kind of quiet and just throw off the campaign. At least that's my belief because I can't think of one good political reason to have this go really big, become a really big story. Because obviously there is going to be a story behind it. A president is getting charged, and we have never seen anything like that in this country before, but they wanted to keep it as quiet as possible because the news is only, as I said before, going to help the campaign. So what are they doing? They waited until this massive story broke out about this shooting. And so all the news has been distracted about that all day. So then they come in while they're distracted, they arrest Trump. And tomorrow, I have certain reasons to believe that the news is going to be covered up by something else. If you haven't seen, there is a planned Trans Day of Vengeance planned for tomorrow. DC is going to be the main catalyst, but we could possibly see the movement all across the nation. And the title, Day of Vengeance, makes me think that this will more than likely be, at least to some capacity, a violent event. This is going to be large scale and more than likely violent. It is going to be a massive story, and every mainstream conservative is going to be way too distracted to talking about that, so they won't really get to this Trump news. It will be minor. People will forget about it. It will be swept under the rug almost, so that they can hold this campaign back while still having the news avoiding it. Now, obviously, the more out of the mainstream guys, the more side shows, right? The people with smaller audiences, the independent guys, they'll be all over the Trump news because that's what's really important right now. But your mainstream conservative and the average centrist, the few voters in this nation that could be still be swayed either way, they're going to be too distracted by what we're going to see tomorrow to even pay attention to this Trump news. So this is the best possible time to make this indictment. We'll see if we see any type of formal arrest or anything. I really doubt it. I think that will they'll try to make this as a very quiet process and they'll try to drag it out. That's what they're going to do. And really, what they want to do to conservatives like you and me is just demoralize us, right? They put our heroes, they put the people that we really respect, the people that are leading our movement. What do? They shun them out of society, they put them behind bars, they charge them with crimes that are completely unfair and unfit. They attack them as people and they completely destroy their character because those are the organs, the heart of the conservative movement right now. They're going after the guys that are really leading the charge, the bringers of light, if you will. And so they're going after those guys, destroying them, destroying their character, and embarrassing us by putting them on national television with in handcuffs, and it's not a good thing. But like I said before, I do think that this will be more of a quiet case. I can't see any political benefit to making this really loud and making a bunch of volume and noise about it. Because, as I said before, we've already seen just from the indictment, the possibility of an indictment. It shot Trump up in polls, and I expect this to help him in polling as well. But we will have to see more information when it comes out. Right now, it's very limited. All we know is that they have indicted him at this point, but we will see how this carries on. And I'll keep updating you guys. So subscribe, like if you enjoyed. If you want these updates on what's going on and other political news, subscribe. Great way to hear about it right away and as quickly as possible. But I'm going to sign off on that note. So long, peace out, and God bless y'all.